My mother-in-law secretly tested my baby's DNA. The first time my mother-in-law held my daughter, she looked at my husband and said, "Are you sure?" I was still in the hospital bed. My stitches hurt. My hair was stuck to my forehead. My daughter was barely 6 hours old, wrapped in a pink and white blanket, making tiny sounds against my chest. My husband, Adam, laughed because he thought his mother was joking. "What do you mean, am I sure?" His mother, Vivian, smiled without looking at me. "I'm just saying," she said. "She doesn't look like anyone in our family." The room went quiet. Adam's smile faded. I looked down at my baby's face. Her little nose, her dark hair, her closed fists. "She looks like herself," I said. Vivian finally looked at me. "Of course." But the way she said it made my skin go cold. That was the beginning. At least, that was the first thing I noticed. For the first 2 weeks after we brought Lily home, I tried to convince myself Vivian was just being difficult. She had always been possessive of Adam. She called him her miracle boy, even though he was 32 years old and perfectly capable of changing his own oil, paying his own bills, and making his own decisions. When we got engaged, she cried in the bathroom during dinner. When we bought our house, she told Adam he was moving too fast. When I got pregnant, she asked 3 times whether we had planned it. So when she made little comments about Lily, I told myself it was the same old Vivian. She has such dark hair. Adam was blonde as a baby. Funny how genetics work. I suppose babies can look like anyone at first. Each comment was small enough to deny, but together they started to feel like scratches on glass. I was too exhausted to fight everyone. Adam noticed, but not enough. "She's just weird," he said one night while rocking Lily against his shoulder. "Don't let her get to you." "She's not weird," I said. "She's accusing me." He stopped rocking. "No, she isn't." I looked at him across the dim nursery. "She asked if you were sure. She says things badly. She says exactly what she means." Adam sighed, tired and defensive. "She's excited. She's awkward. Please don't turn this into something bigger." That hurt more than Vivian's comments, because I could handle his mother doubting me. I could not handle my husband asking me to pretend I didn't hear it. 3 weeks after Lily was born, I found out the comments had not stayed inside our family. It happened at the grocery store. I was standing in the checkout line with Lily sleeping in her carrier when a woman from Adam's parents' church leaned toward the baby and smiled. "Oh, she's precious," she said. "Thank you." Then her smile changed. She lowered her voice. "I hope everything works out for your little family." I stared at her. "What do you mean?" Her face went red. "Oh, I just meant new babies are stressful." She grabbed her receipt and left so quickly she forgot one of her bags. I stood there with cold hands on the cart. That night I asked Adam if his mother had been talking about me. He looked genuinely confused. "Talking about you how?" "About Lily." His jaw tightened. "I'll ask her." "No," I said. "Don't ask her like that." "She'll deny it." "What do you want me to do?" "I want you to believe me before she gives you permission to." He flinched. I regretted saying it. Then I didn't. The next morning, Vivian came over with a casserole I didn't ask for. She walked into my kitchen like she owned the house. "You look tired," she said. "I had a baby." She ignored that and moved toward the bassinet. I stepped between her and Lily. Vivian stopped. Her eyes narrowed. "Is something wrong?" "Yes," I said. "Have you been telling people Lily might not be Adam's?" The color drained from her face for half a second. Then she smiled. It was the kind of smile people use when they have already practiced the conversation. "Why would you ask me something like that?" "Because people are treating me like they know something I don't." "Well," she said, setting the casserole on the counter, "people talk. What did you tell them?" "I told them I was concerned." My stomach dropped. "Concerned about what?" She looked toward Lily. "About my son." I waited. She folded her hands. "Adam deserves the truth." I heard blood rushing in my ears. "The truth is that Lily is his daughter." "Then you shouldn't be afraid of proving it." The room seemed to tilt. I gripped the edge of the counter. "Get out." Her mouth opened. I pointed to the door. "Get out of my house." When Adam came home, I told him everything. He called his mother immediately. I sat at the kitchen table with Lily against my chest and listened to his side of the conversation. "Mom, did you say that?" Silence. "Why would you do that?" More silence. "No, you don't get to say you were protecting me." My eyes filled with tears. For the first time, I felt something close to relief. Then Adam went quiet. His face changed. "What do you mean you already know?" I sat up straighter. Adam looked at me. All the warmth had left his face. "Mom," he said slowly, "what did you do?" I knew before he said it. Vivian had ordered a DNA test, not asked, not suggested, ordered, behind our backs. She had taken Lily's pacifier during a visit and sent it to a private lab with a sample she claimed was Adam's. I felt like I had been slapped. When Adam hung up, he looked sick. She said she did it for peace of mind. "Whose peace?" He didn't answer. "Did you know?" I asked. His head snapped up. "No. Did you give her anything? A toothbrush, a razor, anything?" "No." "Then how did she get your sample?" He looked away. That was when the first layer peeled back. Vivian had not taken Adam's sample. She had used one she already had. Years earlier, Adam had done a genealogy kit for Christmas. Vivian had bought it for him. She kept the login. She kept the raw data. She kept everything. At the time, I thought it was strange. Now it felt calculated. "She can't use that for a paternity test," I said. "I know," Adam said. "She doesn't understand how it works." But I wasn't so sure. Vivian understood enough to scare people, enough to whisper, enough to make me feel watched in my own town. The next day, Adam went to his mother's house. I asked him not to take Lily. He didn't. He came home 2 hours later with a folded envelope in his hand. "She gave me this." I knew what it was before he opened it, the test result. Adam stood in the living room, reading, his face turned pale. "What does it say?" I whispered. He didn't answer. I took the paper from him. The words blurred at first, then one sentence sharpened. "Alleged father is excluded as the biological father." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Then I laughed. It came out strange and broken. "No." Adam looked at me with fear in his eyes, not accusation. Fear. "Adam," I said, "that's not possible." "I know," but his voice cracked. And that crack nearly destroyed me, because Vivian had done what she wanted. She had put a piece of paper between us. That night was the longest night of my life. Adam slept in the nursery chair with Lily against his chest. I sat on the floor beside them, staring at the test result. The lab name looked real. The formatting looked real. The conclusion looked real. But something was wrong. The report listed Lily's sample as a cheek swab. Vivian had told Adam she used a pacifier. The report also listed Adam's sample as a cheek swab collected on the same day. That was impossible. He had never given one. By morning, I knew the first question. Not whether Adam was Lily's father. He was. The question was, where did this report really come from? I called the lab. They would not give me details at first. I expected that. So I asked one simple question. Can a customer submit a pacifier and old genealogy data for this kind of legal paternity result? The woman on the phone paused. No. Would your report call those cheek swabs? No. Would both samples need chain of custody documentation? For a legal test, yes. I looked at the paper in my hand. Then this isn't legal. No, she said carefully. Not if collected the way you're describing. That should have made me feel better. It didn't, because Vivian had not just been reckless. She had shown Adam a report designed to look official. When I told him, he rubbed both hands over his face. I'll talk to her. No, I said. We are done talking to her. She's my mother, and I'm your wife. He looked at me. I know. Do you? He didn't answer fast enough, so I said the thing I was afraid to say. If you have any doubt, we do our own test, a real one, with proper collection. But after that, you choose. Not between me and your mother, between the truth and whatever she's trying to do. Adam cried then, quietly. I had only seen him cry twice before. I don't doubt you, he said. I hate that she made you think I might. We scheduled the test that afternoon. While we waited for the appointment, Vivian escalated. She did not call me. She called everyone else. Adam's aunt texted him, your mother is beside herself. His cousin messaged me, I don't want to get involved, but Vivian said there are documents. Then my own sister called. What is going on? I closed my eyes. How did you hear? Mom saw something online. My stomach dropped. Vivian had posted a vague message on Facebook. Some women suffer in silence while their sons are deceived. Praying truth comes to light. No names, no direct accusation. Just enough poison. I screenshotted it. Then I screenshotted the comments. People knew exactly who she meant. Poor Adam, that baby deserves truth. A mother always knows. I felt something inside me harden. For weeks I had been hurt. Now I was angry. Adam called Vivian and told her to take it down. She cried. He put her on speaker. I heard every word. I am trying to save you, she sobbed. From my wife? He asked. From humiliation. The only person humiliating me is you. You'll thank me one day? No, he said. I won't. Then Vivian said something that changed everything. She trapped you once. I won't let her do it again. Again, I looked at Adam. He looked just as confused. What does that mean? He asked. Vivian went silent. Mom, she hung up. That was the midpoint. Until then, I believed Vivian hated me because she thought I had betrayed Adam. Now I realized she had believed I was guilty long before Lily existed. The DNA test was not the beginning. It was her proof for a story she had already written. That night, Adam told me something he had never fully explained. 2 years before we got married, he almost took a job in Portland. I remembered it vaguely. He had been excited, then suddenly changed his mind. I thought I decided to stay because of you, he said, because we were getting serious. You did decide that, he shook his head. My mother told me you cried to her. She said you begged her to convince me not to leave. I stared at him. I never did that. I know that now. I felt cold again. What else did she tell you? He swallowed. She said you wanted a ring before I left, that you were afraid I'd meet someone else. I stood up. That never happened. I believe you. But the damage was already there. Vivian had been planting one idea for years, that I was manipulative, that I trapped Adam, that love, pregnancy, marriage, all of it had been a strategy. Lily had only given her a new weapon. The next discovery came from a place I did not expect. Adam's father. Richard was quiet, almost painfully so. He had spent most family gatherings reading labels on soda bottles and avoiding conflict. He called Adam 2 days after Vivian's Facebook post. Come by, he said. Without your mother knowing. Adam asked me to come with him. I almost said no. Then I looked at Lily sleeping in her bassinet and thought, I am done being discussed in rooms I am not allowed to enter. So we went. Richard met us in the garage. He looked older than I remembered. I should have said something years ago, he said. Adam stiffened. About what? Richard handed him a manila folder. Inside were printed emails, not many, but enough. The first was from Vivian to Adam's old girlfriend, Kara. I remembered Kara only as a name. They had dated before me. Vivian had kept in touch with her. The email was dated 3 weeks after Adam and I got engaged. He is making a mistake. He thinks she is sweet, but she knows exactly how to handle him. If you still care about him, now is the time to speak. I felt sick. There were more messages to relatives. Messages to church friends. Messages describing me as controlling, needy, secretive. Not accusations anyone could prove, just impressions, just concern, just enough to make people watch me differently. Adam's hands shook. Why didn't you tell me? Richard looked down. Because every time I tried, she said I was turning against the family. I almost laughed at the cruelty of it. Vivian accused everyone else of betrayal while committing it in pieces. Then Richard handed me one last page. This one came last month. It was an email Vivian had sent to herself. The subject line was, if needed, the body was short. Adam will never leave on emotion alone. He needs evidence. Once the baby comes, use uncertainty, hair color, timing, anything. If he sees proof, he will listen. I read it 3 times, once as a wife, once as a mother. Once as someone realizing this woman had been waiting for my child to be born so she could use her. Adam walked outside and threw up beside the driveway. The real paternity test results came back 4 days later. Adam was Lily's father, 99.999%. I did not cry when I saw it. I thought I would. Instead, I felt empty, because the result proved what I already knew. It did not undo what Vivian had done. Adam sent a copy to his mother with one sentence, "Do not contact us again." She called 37 times, then she came to the house. I saw her through the doorbell camera, standing on our porch with red eyes and a paper bag in her hand. "Please," she said into the camera, "I need to see my granddaughter." I pressed the button. "You need to leave," her face twisted. "So now you're keeping her from me?" "No," I said. You did that, I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting a birthday. You tried to destroy my marriage and publicly shame my newborn. She is my blood. That was when I opened the door, not all the way, just enough for her to see my face. She is my daughter. Vivian's eyes filled with tears. I was scared. I laughed once. Of what? Her mouth trembled. Of losing him. There it was. Not concern, not evidence, not truth. Fear. Ugly, selfish fear. I wanted that to be the final reveal. I wanted the deepest truth to be that Vivian was just a lonely mother who could not let go of her son. But there was one more layer, and Adam found it. He went back through old bank statements because the fake test still bothered him. Vivian was dramatic, but she was not technical. Someone had helped her make that report look real. The charge was not from the lab listed on the document. It was from an online template service. The file name on her printed DNA result had been left in the footer, barely visible. Adam searched it. It was not a test. It was an editable paternity report template. The final hidden truth was simple. Vivian had never believed the DNA test would prove anything. She had known it was fake. She had not been seeking truth. She had been manufacturing doubt. That was the part Adam could not forgive, not the suspicion, not even the gossip. The deliberate creation of false evidence. He drove to his parents' house alone and told her that if she contacted us again, we would speak to an attorney. She screamed loud enough that Richard called me later to apologize. I told him he did not owe me an apology. Then I thought about the folder in his garage. Maybe he did. We did speak to an attorney, not to sue immediately, just to understand our options. The attorney explained that Vivian's post, messages, and fake document could become serious if she continued. He helped us send a formal cease and desist letter. Vivian deleted the post. Then she posted another one. Some people use babies as weapons. That one came down too after the attorney sent a second letter. By then, Adam had told the family the truth himself. Not emotionally, not defensively, just facts. My mother created a fake paternity report. The real test confirms Lily is my daughter. We are taking space from her because she tried to harm my wife and child. Some people apologized. Some stayed quiet. A few acted like the real problem was that we had made it public. I learned something from that. People who benefit from your silence will always call your truth cruel. Vivian missed Lily's first Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then her first birthday. She sent gifts. We returned them. She sent letters. We kept them unopened in a box in case we needed them later. Adam went to therapy, so did I. Not because our marriage was broken, but because someone had tried very hard to break it and almost succeeded. The hardest part was admitting how close she came. For one terrible night, that fake report sat between us like a living thing. For one terrible night, I saw doubt flicker across my husband's face. He hated himself for it. I hated that I remembered it. Healing did not happen in one dramatic conversation. It happened in small choices. Adam stopped explaining his mother to me. He stopped asking me to understand her. He stopped answering calls from relatives who wanted to hear both sides. He learned that peace without truth is just silence with better manners. As for Vivian, she never gave the apology I wanted. The closest she came was a letter Adam opened months later. I was wrong to go too far. That was it. Not I lied, not I hurt you, not I used your baby, just too far. Adam folded the letter and put it back in the envelope, then he threw it away. Lily was 8 months old when she said "Dada" for the first time. Adam cried so hard he scared her. I laughed and then I cried too. He picked her up and kissed her cheeks and whispered, "I always knew." I didn't correct him, because maybe that was the truth he needed. But later that night, after Lily fell asleep, Adam found me in the kitchen. "I need to say something," he said. I turned from the sink. He looked terrified. I did doubt for a second. My chest tightened. "I know. I'm sorry." I nodded, but I couldn't speak. He stepped closer. I don't expect that to disappear because I apologized. That was the first time the apology helped, because he did not ask me to erase the wound to make him feel forgiven. He just stood there and admitted it existed. "I can forgive a second," I said. "I couldn't forgive you building a life there. I won't." And he didn't. A year later, Vivian saw Lily at a family funeral. We almost did not go, but Richard's sister had died, and she had always been kind to Adam. Vivian stood across the room in a black dress, staring at Lily like hunger had a face. She did not approach, maybe because our attorney's letter had worked, maybe because Adam stayed between us without being asked. Or maybe because, for the first time, she understood that motherhood did not give her ownership. Lily toddled around the reception hall holding a cracker, completely unaware that she had once been turned into evidence. Vivian started crying. I felt nothing. That surprised me. I had imagined that moment so many times. I thought I would feel rage, or victory, or pity. Instead, I felt free. Because the mystery that had consumed my daughter's first months had finally become very small. My mother-in-law tried to prove my baby was not mine, but that was never the real story. The real story was that she could not stand a family where she was not the center, so she attacked the bond she thought was easiest to break. Mine with Adam, Adam's with Lily, mine with myself. She failed, not because a DNA test saved us, not because the family finally understood. She failed because the truth did what lies never can. It stayed. And every morning, when Lily woke up with Adam's smile and my stubborn little frown, I was reminded of something Vivian never understood. A family is not proven by who demands blood. It is proven by who protects love when someone tries to poison it.